Okay, so we already did the scatter plot in the previous slide. Now we're going to talk about how to find the correlation coefficient using our calculator. To do it by hand, they do describe that in the PowerPoint. I would not suggest that. I would definitely use your calculator. The first thing we have to do is we have to turn our diagnostic on. Once you do this once, you don't have to do it again. The way you turn your diagnostic on is you go to Second, and then Catalog, and then go all the way down to the D's until you see Diagnostic On. Again, you don't have to do this once. So if you already did it before from the PowerPoint or something from my MATLAB, that's fine. Okay, that's done. Okay, so how do we get this correlation coefficient? The first thing we have to do is we have to put the overhead, the first values in the list 1, the second values in the list 2. I have mine in there already, but if you need to pause this video to put those numbers in, you certainly can. So just go ahead and pause it and then come back when you're ready. Okay, now that we have the numbers in, the way we find the correlation coefficient, there's a few different ways. The way I do it is I use number 8 on the calculator under the calc. So I first get out of here by hitting Second, Quit, and I go to Stat, Calc, and I go all the way down to number 8. There's number 4, you could use that one as well. But number 8 is closer to the next section. Now this is the older calculator. With the newer calculators, you may have to put the list 1 is where the X is and so forth. But this is the older calculator. This is my value of R right there, 0.872. So that's a correlation coefficient. Okay, the next thing I have to do is find my critical values. If you click on here, it'll give you the critical values. I actually copied them on the bottom here to make it easier. The two things you need is N and alpha. N is how many paired values you have. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 seals, and alpha is 0.01. So I compare those two, I get 0.917 is my critical value. Okay, now I'm going to look at what do I decide between these two. How do I decide if they're correlated or not? This is a document that is in the PowerPoint. I'm also think I'm going to give you a copy of this on Canvas. What you do is you compare your calculator value, which is your sample correlation coefficient, with the critical value. If the calculator value, if the absolute value of the calculator value is bigger than the critical value, or equal to, you're going to say there is a correlation between the two. If it's less than, you're going to say there's not. Okay, so in this case, this is my calculator value. This is my critical value. It's actually less than. So since it's less than, I'm going to say there's not enough evidence to prove that there's correlation. So it's less than, so there's not sufficient evidence to prove that there's correlation. Okay, so that was the first one in the homework, and it's the number 2 from the homework examples. Again, I did the scatter plot in an earlier example, or earlier video.